For most of adult life, money follows a predictable rhythm that people rarely question. You go to work every day, income arrives regularly, and the paycheck quietly resets the financial system every few weeks. Because of that rhythm, many spending habits remain invisible for years without anyone seriously noticing them. A slightly expensive month gets absorbed by the next paycheck before it ever feels like a real problem. Unexpected bills appear, but regular income softens the impact and life continues without much concern. So during working years, financial pressure often stays hidden behind consistent income. Environment changes that structure in a very quiet but powerful way. The paycheck stops, yet most parts of life continue exactly the same. Bills still arrive on schedule, insurance renews, and everyday habits remain unchanged. This is usually the moment when the true cost of life becomes clearer. Some retirees begin to feel financial pressure surprisingly quickly. Others slowly discover that their financial life becomes calmer and more stable. At first glance, this difference can seem confusing. How can someone become financially stronger after the main source of income disappears? The answer usually has little to do with luck or clever investments. It often begins with how a person reshapes life after the job ends. During working years, income acts like a cushion that hides the real weight of spending. If spending grows a little too quickly, the next paycheck quietly repairs the imbalance, but retirement removes that cushion completely. Now every expense becomes easier to notice. Every financial habit becomes easier to measure. And this is the moment when two very different paths quietly appear. Some retirees try to maintain the exact same lifestyle they had during their careers, the same house, the same spending rhythm, and the same expectations about comfort. But the income that once supported that lifestyle is no longer arriving. Savings slowly begin replacing the role that the paycheck once played. At first, everything still looks stable, but over time, small financial pressures begin stacking together. Insurance costs rise gradually with age. Healthcare becomes a more regular part of life. Home maintenance appears more frequently than expected, and everyday prices slowly increase year after year. Individually, these changes seem manageable. Together, they create a steady drain on savings. Other retirees approach the transition differently. Instead of protecting the old structure of life, they redesign it. They begin asking a question that rarely appeared during their working years. How much does my life actually need to feel comfortable and meaningful? This single question often changes the entire financial system, because once someone understands their real cost of living, control begins to return. Expenses become adjustable without feeling restrictive. Savings face far less pressure than before. Time also begins to work differently. Some retirees simplify their housing situation once children move away. Others reduce recurring expenses that no longer add real value to daily life. Many discover that a simpler structure actually creates more freedom. And something else interesting begins to happen. Without the pressure of full-time work, experience often finds new ways to stay useful. A retired professional might occasionally advise a younger colleague. A former manager may help a small business solve problems. A teacher might tutor students a few hours each week. None of these activities resemble a full career, but they keep the mind active and sometimes create small streams of income. Nothing dramatic, just enough to reduce the pressure on savings. Over the years, this quiet structure creates a surprising result. Lower expenses combined with occasional value. From experience, financial life begins to stabilize rather than decline. This is why some retirees quietly become wealthier after retirement. Not because they discovered a financial shortcut, but because they redesigned their life when the paycheck disappeared. Retirement reveals something many people never fully examined during their careers. Wealth is not only about how much money enters your life. is also about how intelligently life is structured around that money. And sometimes, the moment a career ends is the moment financial clarity finally begins. Subscribe the channel Rickify Doctrine for more information. Thanks for watching.